So for today's project, you are going to need a 25-ounce glass cup, a UVDTF print, a Sharpie marker, and a pair of scissors. So I've already started my project by wrapping the design all the way around the cup before removing anything to make sure that it fits the way that I need it to. And there's a tiny bit of overlap right here. So when we get to this part, we're going to want to make sure that we start peeling up the side that's already down before we completely wrap the cup. All right, so we sized it, and then mine was just a hair too tall. So what I done was I went around the inside of it with my Sharpie marker, level with the cup top, and drew my line. And then I took my pair of scissors and cut off the little sliver that I needed to. So now that that's done, I'm going to cut down the sides as much as possible without cutting off any of the print. I'm doing that so that it will make it easier to apply and there won't be as much overlap to be concerned with. I know that's going to stick out above it, so I just went ahead and snip that off too. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. I'm cutting off as much of the clear backing and top as I can before attaching it to the cup. See, now they won't even actually fully touch together. There's just a couple millimeters right here where it won't be touching together. So now that I know that that's going to work, I'm going to use the hinge method to apply my transfer. So what I'm going to do is peel back my backing sheet and cut it. Just kind of took a little lopsided turn there. Alright, so I press that back down. Now, there's no right or wrong way to do this. This is just the way I personally choose to do this. Everybody has their own methods and what works best for them. Alright. And go over it with my scraper where it's already down. And I'm using the felt end, just making sure that these are stuck down well. All right, so now I can go back in and grab the backing. I had to find where it started. And peel it back. So now the backing is no longer there. With the cup flat on the surface, I'm just going to roll it around. And now with my hands, I'm going to push outward. As you can hear, there's air bubbles in there. So I try to push them out as much as possible. There's a good chance I'm going to have to go in and pop some with a pointed object. Some of them I won't have to because they're moving out from around the big pieces. But like this here needs some love. All right. Any parts that don't stay down, lay it back down, rub over it really well, and you want to angle your paper or your topping that you're pulling it off, the piece you're pulling off, you want it to be super, super angled the next time you try to peel back in that area. So I'll try to keep it kind of even. So I'm going to go up here and go all the way up, trying to keep all of my little pieces intact. So now that we've got everything applied, I'm just going to go back in and make sure that everything is laying properly, and make sure that, like, the top edge has some places where it's just like trying to stand up. So what I'm going to do there is just go through with my scissors and just kind of tap that edge a little bit and get some of that tiny bit of excess off of there. Because these are permanent, but if the water gets under it, then of course those parts would not be. So we just want to go through and make sure that it's all nice and cleaned up. And like this one was so thin, we're just going to go ahead and pop that whole little piece off because there's no point in leaving it on there. Let me think, there was somewhere else it was like that. This one needs to be trimmed down. All the rest of them seem to be pretty good. So now I need to try to push what few air bubbles are left up through the top. That one's not wanting to go, so I'm going to have to find my poking tool and we're going to have to stab it. So I grabbed the closest thing that I could find that might work, and it's actually a needle from the sewing machine. So that's going to help me pop or put a little hole in the bubble, and once it's laid back down, you never even know it was there. Okay, we are good to go.